I don't know how Hey guys, it's Kayla. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello. I'm Kayla. I post videos every Monday and I would love it if you guys would want to stick around with me. So if you want to do that, go ahead and subscribe, press the bell to get notified every time I post a new video, and let's get into it. As you can tell by the title, today's video is about players and how to avoid them. I do want to say that I'm not an expert at this by any means, but the idea behind this video was kind of, if I could put something out that could possibly help somebody avoid these types of situations, then 100% I'm going to do it. Okay, so I want to start off by talking about how when we all start a new relationship, because it's so new and exciting, we tend to want to blindly dive in. It's kind of just like our natural instinct to kind of ignore all the red flags and all the signs because we are focused on this new, exciting, wonderful thing. And I think that when we start a relationship, that is the time to really go against that natural instinct and kind of take a step back and just don't get too wrapped up in all of the, you know, the giddiness and the butterflies and oh my gosh, we could have kids someday and get married and have a house, and just, you kind of have to sit that stuff to the side to an extent. You can still think about it, you know, and have fun with the idea, but I don't think it's a bad thing to think about. I just think that it's also really important to make sure we are on the lookout for signs, possible signs even if you think this person's perfect, there's no way, I'm not gonna find anything wrong with them. Just be on the lookout, especially in the beginning, because you just never know. One thing that I do want to mention is to really try and not to create a fantasy in your head. And when I say that, I'm kind of going back to what I was talking about wanting to blindly dive in. When we start a new relationship and we think it's going really well, you know, if we're in our own heads and we're in this fantasy world, and when we start to connect with people, we kind of see it as, you know, we're building with them, we're building something with them. If we're not looking for those signs, we may not realize that they don't see it as they're building something with us, you know? It's not the same to them. What I'm trying to say is, if they're not on the same page as us and we're wrapping up all of our feelings and emotions, you know, into this relationship because we think that we're building something with them, and they're not on the same page and we're giving them everything we have, that's where we end up getting hurt, you know, and that's what we're trying to avoid here. Because I feel like it's just really, really important to be looking for those signs in the beginning. Now I want to talk about the signs, you know, what should we be looking for? I have some examples. Before I get into the signs though, I do want to read this quote that I found in an article that, I don't know, I feel like it goes perfectly with what I'm trying to say. The quote is, if the guy doesn't have genuine intentions, he will unintentionally reveal them to you. I feel like this is true with, you know, just people in general. You can only hide your true intentions for so long. So I want to get into some of the signs. Some of the signs that you should be looking for if they're not calling on the regular, if they're bailing, if they're making excuses, if they're not consistent, you know, if they disappear for a week and then come back into your life, or they message you and then ignore you for a few days and then come back again. Really make sure that you're both initiating contact. If you are the only one contacting him every single day, or her, or vice versa, you know, you want to make sure that you're both putting equal effort into making it work. Because if not, that's kind of a sign that maybe they're not quite as interested as you, and maybe that's something to talk about. Another big sign I feel is if they are trying to avoid your family and friends. If they're trying to avoid meeting important people in your life, that kind of sets up a red flag, because if they really want to get to know you, you know, and if they're really interested in you, they're gonna want to get to know you. They're gonna want to get to know everything about you, the people you love, you know, and they're gonna want to get to know them as well. Another sign would be if they're canceling plans a lot. If you make plans with them and then the day before or the day of, they're like, yeah, I can't make it, sorry, I had something else totally different going on. If they're constantly making excuses, like I said earlier, and bailing, like if every time you ask them to hang out, they have an excuse every single time, like they don't want to hang out with you, but because they have this, this, and this going on. If it's every single time, I'm telling you, they're not as interested as they're leading you to believe if every single time you try to hang out. They're bailing or making an excuse or canceling on you. If they're truly interested in you, they will make time. If a person is truly interested in you, they'll make time. They'll want to get to know you. They'll want to get to know everything about you. And I feel like that's really important for people to know. Another thing to really look for is if they're sending mixed signals, if they're flirting with you one day and then ignoring you the next. If that's happening really often, then that's kind of a red flag as well. Or if they're only contacting you when it's convenient for them. If they're only contacting you because they want something from you or because they need a date to something, they don't want to go by themselves. If it's not just to genuinely spend time with you. Another thing that I want to talk about is that these types of people will use what you want to get what they want. So they might, if you're looking for a relationship and they know that, but they're looking for, maybe they're trying to, you know, and they're really pushing for it, or maybe they tell you, yeah, I like you, I want to be with you, just to get that from you. These signs are a little bit harder to, you know, pick out. If a guy's telling you what you want to hear to get what he wants, if he's telling you, oh, I like you, I want to be with you, be my girlfriend, be my boyfriend, you know, girl or guy, I just feel like it does make it a little bit harder to pick it out, because obviously they're telling you what you want to hear. They're not really giving you signs. However, words are one thing. I just want to say that I feel like actions are louder than words, and if a guy is telling you one thing and you're feeling another, like if it feels off, it probably is off, and that's something to look into. Don't ignore if your intuition is telling you something is off, then that it's at least something to look into. Whether it's actually off or not, I really think that everybody should listen to that gut feeling, you know? The last sign that I want to say is if they're pushing to be intimate with you. If they're really pushing for it, and especially if you've already told them like, no, I'm not interested, or if you tell them I want to wait till marriage and they're not really respecting that, they're really still pushing for it, that is, I feel, a very obvious sign that if they're not willing to wait and get to know you, if you're not ready for that yet and they're really pushing for it, then I feel like that is a sign that they're looking for something different than what you are. And alright, I think that's everything that I have. I hope this video was really helpful. I personally kind of feel like it was a little jumbled. This is my first video to just sit down and talk to you guys. I feel like it was kind of all over the place, but I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I really hope that it was helpful in some way, and if it was, leave a comment down below and let me know, because I would love to hear from you guys. If you guys have any types of videos that you want to see, comment those down below, because I would love to hear them. Yeah, I guess if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you're not already, go ahead and subscribe, press the bell to get notified every time I post a new video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.